Yo, what's good with you? Back in black with another Enlisted video. If you guys are new to the channel and you love shooting games just like me, make sure you aim for that like button and shoot that subscribe button as well. It'll help you find better teammates and improve your skill-based matchmaking. Today, what I wanted to talk to you guys about was maps. Maps. One of the few and also one of the most major pain points when it comes to this game. For anybody who is, a mid to high level player, I'm sure you are feeling a little bit of burnout and redundancy when it comes to playing the same maps over and over again. Even though we have 6 campaigns available, for each, campaign we only have about 3 or 4 unique maps per campaign. So that being said, what made me really happy and what I wanted to introduce or talk about, I guess you could say, is the fact that they introduced a brand new map, or at least a brand new map for Normandy is coming very soon, and that will be detailed in this article that I wanted to read for you guys really quick, and then we will discuss opinions and just go over whether we are basically happy about it or if we are a little, I guess you could say, dissatisfied or disgruntled or maybe looking for a little bit more. But neither here nor there, a new map is always a good addition to the game in my personal opinion, so it made me happy and I just wanted to talk about it and a little few tidbits, if you will. Let's get into it. So seeing as how Normandy is the most popular campaign in the game, I'm sure a lot of you players are familiar with the fact that most of it is consisting of very wide countryside, a lot of rural farmland, shooting people over medium to long distances with rifles, and occasionally using your submachine guns when you get close in to capture a point or capture a singular building, maybe a farmhouse, whatever the case may be. But a lot of that is contrasted by one map in particular, Omir, which I hope you played on it by now. If you haven't, I would really recommend trying to seek that map out. It's one of my personal favorites in the game. I believe when I did my Normandy map rating, I gave it like a A or a S tier if I'm not mistaken. But the thing that I really like about Omir, and the thing that is really similar about this new map that's going to be coming out for Normandy, is that a lot of it is going to be focused and predicated on urban combat, which when it comes to World War II games, generally speaking, is my personal favorite type of atmosphere to be fighting in. And they even went as far as to describe what the map will play like, and they compare it to 2 maps in particular from the Stalingrad campaign, which we also know is focused on a lot of urban warfare. Even though I don't really play Stalingrad that much because how egregious they were with the monetization of that campaign, but again, that's another story for another video, or rather I should say you could go back and look at my opinions on that campaign if you wanted to know that. But again, like I said, what they're basing this new Normandy map off of is based on the Stalingrad tractor factory and Volokholamsk forestry. I don't even know how to say that, but the forestry map, which again isn't the most spread out wide open field, but on the other hand, this is more so based on the fact that you will be fighting in close quarters more often than not, which again really puts the emphasis on those submachine guns and automatic weapons as opposed to bolt action weapons, which typically reign supreme in those campaigns that are focused on long range engagements, like most of the maps in Normandy, or maybe pretty much 90% of the maps in Tunisia, for lack of better words. So that being said, I really do appreciate the contrast and the switch up between the maps that were normally presented with Normandy and the maps that are being, or the one map I should say, that is being presented now, because what I really appreciate a lot about Enlisted is variety. There's so many ways you can go about what's the word I want to use, achieving victory, for lack of better words. But some maps are just simply better for short range weapons, and some are just better for long range weapons, and some are just better for vehicles. So knowing how to adapt your playstyle to the map and the environment that you are fighting in, I think is a really crucial and critical skill that not many people really talk about. That being said, I'm just gonna flash up a few images of this map if I haven't been doing it already. Again, I'm looking at it right now and I see like a lot of elevation and verticality that will probably be available to use on this type of map. A lot of cathedrals and like buildings that are works in progress, but lots of platforms that you can climb up on or snipe from. Pretty much what they're saying is that it'll kind of have a similar layout that is I want to say mostly similar to the tractor factory from Stalingrad. So essentially, you're going to be fighting from a interior of one building to the interior of another building, with lots of flanking routes and alleyways and just little cubbies, if you will, or like sneak points where you can hide, or where you can take an unexpected angle of approach. So I like that kind of gameplay. It usually ends up being very chaotic, and if you can find your bearings and get the advantage over your enemy, you'll probably be racking up a lot of kills because everybody will be focused on one point, if that makes any sense. Of course, everything I'm saying right now is just pure speculation because I haven't played on the map yet myself yet, obviously, so I have no idea how it's going to perform or how good or bad it'll be. But there are some possible cons that I'm looking at when I'm previewing this map as well, and I kind of wanted to just throw that out there, just so you guys can be aware or be wary of the possible downsides of a map like this. And so the first thing I'll say is that same verticality that I was talking about that they're featuring in this map, all the smokestacks and buildings under construction that are like 50 stories tall, the cathedrals, whatever the case may be, that will probably be really, really useful for snipers and machine guns. They also said that in the article. But my issue with something like that is that if people are just focusing on getting to the high ground, getting as high as they can on the map instead of actually being on the objective, that could be a detrimental type of gameplay as far as like how it will affect your team, especially snipers. I don't have anything against sniper rifles. I mean, they're cool. I don't really use that squad because I don't find them to be the most effective thing in the game. But like, I just imagine somebody running up to the smoke tower and just sniping the whole time on defense when they're not really like on the point defending it when the team really needs some type of help. So I think like things like that might become a little annoying, or people just trying to explore the map instead of playing the objective. Of course, if you can do that in a private match or whatever, more power to you. But like, I'm just trying to think, like, snipers already do very little to contribute, or people who sit in the back of the map. I'm also thinking vehicles might not be the most effective thing on this map either, considering all the tight, narrow alleyways. Probably makes for a lot of easy flanks on your tank, and we already know how explosive packs are. You can't beat those. But another thing that I was thinking about is how I was kind of trashing on paratroopers before, obviously before they even came out. But considering how tall the buildings are and how urban everything is, if you drop some paratroopers like behind enemy lines and like the other team is too busy fighting on the objective, or they don't notice the plane because the buildings are so tall or whatever the case may be, paratroopers might actually end up being kind of useful. So I thought that was something that was pretty notable as well. Normally, or originally, I was writing the paratroopers off entirely, but on maps like this where there's a lot of like verticality and you can't really see the planes to like shoot them down, maybe they can sneak in and get the drop on you and attack from behind, which actually might end up being very effective depending on how many people you can have in your paratrooper squad. But I already know dropping in there with that 100-round Tommy gun might be something that might be super effective and useful if you can get on the ground before getting shot down, or shot generally speaking. So I don't know, paratroopers might be onto something. They might have a chance. Aside from that, that's pretty much all the news that I have so far. I kind of wish they would just get to the point and drop the big update, maybe drop the map with the update instead of just having something to announce just to announce it. But yeah, man, let me know what you guys are thinking about the map. What are you speculating about it? Do you have any type of strategy that you are coming up with how you want to play on it? And yeah, man, I appreciate you guys for watching. I'll see you in the next one, and I hope you guys have a lovely rest of your day. That's my work alarm. I'll be going to work, and I'll catch you guys in another one. Black guy out. Can't believe my alarm went off. That's crazy.